Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Friday morning. It's the 15th day of September 2023. We're halfway through the month and heading into the weekend. This is the morning briefing coming to you from the home weather office, where I get an idea of what's going on for the day, give you an update on what's happening, as well as the changes that some of the models may have given us overnight, and just kind of a way to start off my day and help you with the weather. And as I look out the window from the home weather office, yeah, it's going to be another great day. I'll tell you what, though, next week there's so much discrepancy in the models for next week, and I'll show you that, and you might find it interesting, and you get an idea of the dilemma that forecasters go through, the sort of things that we deal with. Sometimes the weather's pretty straightforward, like what we're going to see the next couple of days, but sometimes when we're looking down the road 5 or 6 days, we're hoping for a little more clarity than what we're getting right now. I'll explain all that in just a second. First, as usual, let's start off with what's happening around here. Nice marine layer along the coast this morning, as you can see, nice and deep. We also have some smoke up north once again. There's also a fire burning down south here. This is called the Redwood Fire. I checked, it's about 650 acres. This is a Forest Service fire, so they're kind of also managing this fire, but the thing to note is that the smoke is coming into the valley and then drifting up a little bit. So there may be some haze, especially maybe as far north as Merced County from time to time. So that's just kind of feeding in. It's not a huge fire. And again, it's being managed by the Forest Service. Like I said, that's called the Redwood Fire. And for now anyway, the smoke from the fires up in the northwestern corner of the state, that's staying away from us as well. You do see a couple of clouds here on the west slope. Doesn't look like much, but that's an indication that there is a bit of moisture in the air, and we could see a couple of pop-up thunderstorms once again today from Alpine County down into Mono County, down to Highway 395. So that's a look at our local stuff. I do want to give you a quick update on Lee. Lee is finally going to be coming ashore and ending its week and a half, 2-week journey across the Atlantic. So here's the latest from the Hurricane Center. We're down to a Category 1 storm now with winds of 80 miles an hour, accelerating now at 18 miles an hour. Remember a couple of days ago it was moving at about 7 miles an hour? Now it's 18 miles an hour, so it's moving much faster. Moving, right now it is still over the Gulf of Mexico. Not the Gulf, I keep saying that. The Gulf Stream. It is still over the Gulf Stream, which means the water here is pretty warm, but as it gets farther to the north, it'll encounter colder water and continue its weakening. And this is the path from the Hurricane Center. The cone of uncertainty certainly narrowing down, taking it much farther to the east of Cape Cod as a hurricane during Saturday morning, and then likely making landfall in the Bay of Fundy, not too far from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, as either a tropical storm or a post-tropical storm, and then exiting quickly off to the northeast. These blue outlines you see here, these are tropical storm warnings. So we do not have hurricane warnings up for the coast of Maine, but still Saturday, especially Saturday afternoon, is going to be kind of rough along the coast of Maine with gusty winds, periods of heavy rain, especially the farther east you go, the farther down east you go, Bar Harbor and points east. We'll have a rougher time than you'll find from Portland down toward Kittery and Portsmouth, New Hampshire. But so that's going to be the end of Lee. Like I said, it's been a long trek. A week or so ago, it was a Category 5 storm making all sorts of headlines, and now looks as though it's going to make its way with a one-day affair through the Maritimes. All right, I want to show you a couple of things that are going on here. Talk about uncertainty. Now, what I'm going to show you is snapshots from the last 3 model runs of the GFS about what next Thursday is going to look like. And what you're looking at right now is the midday run from yesterday. This is the 18Z run from yesterday. And what I'm paying attention to is the position of this low for next Thursday. So right now, from this model, this says, okay, the low is over Elko, so maybe somewhere between Elko and Salt Lake City, meaning Northern California has a north flow, a cool north flow, and we might have a north wind event. Okay? So that I looked at that yesterday afternoon. All right, last night, model, oh, no, never mind. It's going to be up over the northeast plateau of California. So instead of being here, it's over here. Same time, same model, just a run 6 hours later. This is different, completely different trajectory. That gives you flow into the Sierra, much better chance of rain in places like Plumas County. And again, this is next Thursday. It would still be cool and showery, but you're taking out the chance of north winds. And then the most recent run, the overnight run, well, now it's back to this location, although a little bit different, with a flow that comes down from the north. And the models just keep going back and forth on the location of this. And it's odd for us to see this much discrepancy from run to run. Usually they'll trend more in one direction or another. I have a feeling that what they're having a tough time, the model is having a tough time with, is dealing with this cutoff low, and it's kind of confusing the model. So let me back up to the beginning of this model, and I'll show you just the way this whole situation evolves. So as we head into the weekend, we have this little low down here. It's almost a cutoff low. Very weak though, but as we head into the weekend, we start getting more of the southerly flow, which will help to bring temperatures down as we go through the weekend. Today we'll be in the low to mid 90s like we have been the last few days, but through the weekend, with this kind of flow, temperatures begin to come down. And things are pretty straightforward here into the day on Sunday. We still have this low here, nice southwesterly flow. It's this next trough that comes down and starts to mix with this one that I think starts to get the model a little bit confused. This is the day on Monday, another comfortable day. This is Tuesday, and then here comes that next trough, and as that comes down and kind of picks up that other low, I think this is where the model gets a little bit confused. And so this is Wednesday, and then here's that pattern I was looking at on Thursday, and exactly what ends up happening here, we're not sure. And then this is getting into next weekend. So the bottom line here is that the next few days, really nice. If you have any outdoor plans this weekend, it's going to be great. In the Sierra, talking about highs around 70. In the valley, highs in the upper 80s to near 90. Nice cool nights. Anything you have planned outdoors, perfect. From the coast to the valley, the foothill Sierra, really, really nice. And even early next week looks pretty benign with temperatures generally in the mid 80s. It's really that time starting maybe Wednesday night toward Friday that we're still a little bit uncertain of exactly what that low is going to do. And the fear here is that if we get that scenario with the north winds, that it brings a higher fire danger, of course. This time of year, gusty winds, low humidity, all that sort of thing can, and down canyon winds especially. So we might have that to deal with. But then again, if the low stays a little farther west, we're talking about cool and showery weather, especially in the mountains. So uncertainty for next week. And not because of that, totally unrelated to that, I'm taking next week off. So it's a planned vacation for next week. So the morning briefing will go on hiatus for a little while. I'll be back on Monday. What is that, the 20-something? I don't know. I'll be back on that Monday. So there won't be any morning briefings next week unless something really interesting takes place. So I'll just kind of keep one eye on things as opposed to two eyes on things. So if something happens, I'll hop on and give a briefing. But other than that, the morning briefing is going to take a bit of a hiatus. But today, for one more day, I'll be in my suit and tie and in the office to do the news on KCRA at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. And that's all I've got for you. Make it a great day. I'll talk to you later.